We all know that the architect is a complex Matrix character, the creator of the simulations. This character was born in response to human warfare. He was an inevitable consequence of irrational human behavior. He is a creator of worlds, one who controls the cycles. But what else do we know about the architect? In our series, History of, we previously looked over the story of Agent Smith. Today we are dedicating this video to the father of the Matrix, the architect. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
The architect is one of the most important machine programs. He is extremely intelligent, efficient, and a perfectionist. He can also predict human and program behavior. Some believe that he is the virtual personification of the machine mainframe. The architect arose as a necessity at a time when the machine war was ending to be a prison warden for the humans who were allowed to continue living. His origin could be traced back to the Second Renaissance as seen in the Animatrix. What we do know is that after the war ended, machines began to experiment on humans, specifically with their minds. After the pre-Matrix beta, which was the first humans connected to the power plants, but not to a simulation, the architect created the simulations. These Matrix betas were all failures. The Paradise Matrix was so perfect and peaceful that humans naturally came to realize that something was wrong. The Nightmare Matrix, as the name suggests, was the opposite of a peaceful world, but the result was the same.
The first Matrix I designed was quite naturally perfect. It was a work of art, flawless, sublime, a triumph equaled only by its monumental failure.
It was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering.
Thus I redesigned it, based on your history, to more accurately reflect the varying grotesqueries of your nature. However, I was again frustrated by failure.
The architect would eventually create a stable matrix with the help of the Oracle.
Thus the answer was stumbled upon by another, an intuitive program, initially created to investigate certain aspects of the human psyche. If I am the father of the Matrix, she would undoubtedly be its mother.
The Oracle.
From that moment on, the architect became a fundamental part of the control over humanity. His appearance resembles that of a tycoon. His office is within a penthouse, and it's inaccessible to both humans and programs. He is an elite that controls everything from the shadows. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychology, inspired the design of the architect. You can see the resemblance in his behavior with Neo. Their dynamic is of a psychologist and his patient. The architect is analyzing Neo and trying to manipulate his actions. Humorously, many people have compared the architect to the famous fast food icon, Colonel Sanders. Actor Helmut Pakaitis, who played the architect, was made to believe that his role in the Matrix was of a counselor. Also, the script that he was given was much different from the final version that was used in the movie. The actor disclosed this information in a behind-the-scenes video of Matrix Reloaded.
Well, originally I went for a different part. I was told they wanted somebody to play, I don't know who it was a counselor, I think. I suddenly got a different script and was asked to read for this completely other part, which completely bamboozled me because, of course, I hadn't read the whole script. I only read the scenes that I was in, and I thought, what the hell is this? God/devil, the father of the Matrix, he says. And I thought, wow, this is good. Yeah, I can do that. I can do my cheap Orson Welles imitation and get paid for it. This will be the 6th time we have destroyed it, and we are exceedingly efficient at it. It's malevolent, not in a moral sense. It's malevolent in a, oh well, this formula doesn't work. Let's scrub it out and try something else. It's mathematical malevolence. We shot it over a 3-day period. It was hell. Mainly because I sort of spoke virtually non-stop, and Keanu every now and then would say a reaction, but I had to kind of carry the scene in terms of the dialogue. Bullshit. It was Keanu who sort of translated for me what the brothers were trying to say, for which I will remain eternally grateful. So between the brothers and Keanu, they've taught me how to act in a way that I didn't understand before. The key was to kind of just wipe everything clean and just imagine that I was like a blank blackboard. And then it made sense.
Interestingly, he mentioned that Keanu Reeves served as an interpreter of what the Wachowskis wanted to do. Helmut could not understand his dialogue. But to be fair, not many people who saw the movie could. Actor Yahya Abdul-Mateen II shared that sentiment, as he revealed in one of his interviews that during filming, only Keanu and Lana understood the film, meaning that Keanu possibly had to help the other new actors to understand their roles in Matrix 4. Going back to the architect, Helmut also mentioned something else in his interview.
I expected the center of the Matrix to be a mathematical formula, some sort of mathematical construct, not humanized. I was very surprised that it turned out to be a person.
Here is where the idea of the architect came from. He is the personification of the machine mainframe. The actor saw his character as the center of everything, though of course, that was his interpretation. But what is the architect's purpose? Why does he constantly have to restart the simulation? The architect's functionalities operate at multiple levels. The first level is of the creator of the simulation. He is the one who writes the simulation code, where possibly all other programs are born from. He is a program administrator. His second function is of the overseer. The architect is constantly supervising the happenings inside the simulated world from the comfort of his office and his small monitors. On the off chance something goes awry, he can deploy one of his programs, like the Deja Vu Cat or the agents, to deal with the situation. Due to the emergence of the anomaly, the architect's duties were slightly altered. He then had to watch over Thomas Anderson and his predecessors, whom the anomaly's code could either manifest in or would purposely be installed into by the architect or the oracle, and manipulate the carriers to follow a set path of choices in a game of cause and effect made to increase the machine's control over humans. But the architect's most important purpose that explains his perfectionism is his search for the perfect equation. No flaws, no rebels or anomalies. The architect has been able to deal with anomalies and irrational humans, but he has not been able to achieve 100% matrix effectiveness. Regardless of his efforts, humans are still waking up to the truth, and the architect seeks to eradicate this flaw. Allowing the oracle to intervene in the molding of this perfect equation is part of his plan, because the intuitive program has something the architect lacks: emotional understanding. The architect is a mathematician who cannot comprehend emotional nuances, and this is precisely why he has failed to perfect the equation and stability of the matrix. So what can we expect from the architect in Matrix 4? As of this video, there is no official information that Helmut Pakaitis returned to this franchise. However, we know that Matrix programs can change their appearances or shells, so there is the possibility that the architect could make an appearance, for he is one of the most powerful entities in this universe. But it could be detrimental to the development of the Matrix 4 plot if he is hastily reintroduced in the film. While we do not believe that the architect will make a physical appearance in Matrix 4, we do believe that he will be mentioned or referenced, possibly alluding to an appearance in future Matrix content. He is a fan favorite, and his return is inevitable. But do you agree? Will the architect return in Matrix 4? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.